Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Going the Distance, the show where we talk about sports and music. On today's episode, we're going to talk about Bill Belichick getting a statue beside Tom Brady, Amari Cooper retires, we're going to have the Week 1 scores in the NFL, the Week 2 predictions, some music news, and as always, we're going to have the what we're listening to and who we're listening to segment. So this is episode 92. Can you believe we've done 92 episodes? I can't, but I want to welcome the new members who are just joining me for the first time, and I want to welcome back the members who have been joining me from the beginning. Your support is greatly appreciated. So hit that thumbs up button and like the video, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode when I post a video or a short. So let's jump into it. So first, it was announced that Bill Belichick is going to get a statue at Gillette Stadium beside Tom Brady. And I don't know if it's going to be right beside or on the other side, so it's like walking between columns. I think that's how they should do it instead of side by side, because that way you can take a picture with Belichick, you can take a picture with Tom, instead of having them right there together, looking all scrunched up. But when I get more information on the statue, I'll let you guys know. As my prediction is, the statue will be will be built this season, and will be ready by next season. They might unveil it during preseason next season. Who knows? Anyway, moving on. Amari Cooper retires again. And what do I mean by again? He played in the NFL for, I believe, 8 or 9 seasons. And last season he retired. He signed with the Cowboys and then retired on them. And then during the offseason said, I want to come back. Well, the Raiders gave him the option to come back. Signed him to a 1-year deal. And then right before the season started, I believe it was Wednesday, informs the Raiders he has no desire to play for them. So now he's retired again. So Amari, stay retired. If there's something going on health-wise, you can't play. Just stay retired and let somebody else have that spot. So, stop jerking these fans around, Amari. You were great in Buffalo. You were great in Dallas, and you could have been great with the Raiders, but you didn't want to play. So there you go. So moving on, we're going to move to the Week 1 scores. So on Thursday night, opening night, we had the Eagles defeat the Cowboys 24-20. We had a lightning delay at halftime, like the second quarter or so. It was around halftime that the lightning delay happened, so they brought everybody into the locker room. And I don't remember how long the lightning delay was, but they got back started again. But the big news from that game was Jalen Carter spit on Dak Prescott 4 plays into the game. It's uncalled for. And there's speculation that Dak spit in Jalen Carter's direction prior to that. Now, whether they were just, talking crap because this was a division game and that happened with Dak, who knows? But Jalen Carter purposely spit on Dak Prescott. Got ejected from the game. In spite of that, the Eagles still won 24-20. Again, division game. On Friday, we had the first YouTube streamed game in the NFL, and it was the Chiefs-Chargers from Brazil. So the Chargers defeated the Chiefs 27-21. Man, that sounded good to say. And the officiating tried everything to get the Chiefs to win. It couldn't happen. The Chargers ended up defeating the Chiefs 27-21, which means the Chiefs are last in their division. And if there's ever a tiebreaker between the Chiefs and the Chargers win that tiebreaker this season because of this win. So congratulations to you. By the way, Justin Herbert was 25 of 34, 318 yards and 3 touchdowns. Moving on, the Buccaneers defeated the Falcons 23-20 as time expired. The Bengals defeated the Browns 17-16, which I think is great to see the Bengals actually in the win column in week 1 instead of going a month and then getting a win. So could this be a good year for the Bengals? I hope so. Moving on, the Colts defeated the Dolphins 33-8. If this isn't a telltale sign that Tua needs to retire, I don't know what is. And I'm not saying Daniel Jones is the answer to the Colts because I don't believe he is. This is a guy who, with the Giants, tripped up over his own feet 5 yards away from the end zone. So, again, this is week 1, and they were playing a beat-up Dolphins team. But Daniel Jones was 22 of 29, 272 yards, and 1 touchdown. So, congratulations to you, Daniel. And Tua, go ahead and retire. If you want to finish this season out, just do it and then retire because this is ridiculous. The Raiders defeated the Patriots. That's tough for me to say. 20-13. Now, this is interesting because the Raiders and the Patriots have some history. And this was an interesting game because Mike Vrabel is now the head coach of the Patriots. Pete Carroll, the head coach of the Raiders. At one point, Pete Carroll was the head coach of the Patriots, and Mike Vrabel was a player for the Patriots. And back when this Tuck Rule game happened, it was the Raiders and the Patriots that played each other, and the Patriots ended up on top and going to the Super Bowl, which ended up being Tom Brady's first Super Bowl win. So there's a lot of history there. I still have hope for the Patriots because this is just week 1 and it was, 20-13. So it wasn't like it was 45-0 or, 33-0. The Patriots kept up, and Drake May, I have a lot of faith in Drake May, second-year quarterback this year. So congratulations to you, Raiders. Moving on, the Cardinals defeat the Saints 20-13. Kind of surprised about that, but the Saints are in a rebuilding year with a new coach, new quarterback. We'll see. In Aaron Rodgers' debut as a Pittsburgh Steeler, the Steelers defeated the Jets 34-32. Aaron Rodgers was 22 of 30, 244 yards, and 4 touchdowns. It's kind of hard not to look good. It's kind of not hard to look good when you're playing a team that's got Justin Fields on it. Justin made rookie mistakes just like Russell Wilson did in the Giants game, and we're going to talk about that next. But that was a back-and-forth game, and the Jets had a shot to win it. You don't go for 2 or 3 two-point conversions, which needs to be outlawed in the first place, because 2-point conversions rarely work. Yes, we saw one work on Monday night. But we had 2-point conversions all through the weekend, and not one time, and it only worked once. And Justin Fields overthrew the ball, he underthrew the ball, he was inconsistent, he got sacked. I mean, you got a lot to work on, Aaron Glenn, with the Jets. Yes, you only lost by 2 points, and that's great, considering what y'all would have lost by. But I mean, what happened? Did you just let Aaron win that game? I kind of think it did. Because think about this. There's other quarterbacks this season or this week that threw for 4 touchdowns. So, Aaron, you did nothing special. And one of those quarterbacks was Josh Allen. And we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But moving on, the Commanders defeated the Giants 21-6. Jaden Daniels was 19 of 30, 233 yards, and 1 touchdown. Deebo Samuel scored in his Washington debut. And again, Russell Wilson played like he had never been on a football field before and like he was a rookie. Like he was just coming out of college and was just scared. And honestly, yeah, I'm not giving him any slack because he's been in the league for long enough to know. I think this is his 14th season, so he should know better than to, wait for him, hold the ball long enough for him to sack him. Run out of the play. Run out of the pocket and throw the ball. Don't just stand there like you're scared. That's what you did, Russ. You're better than that. Is it because you're with the Giants? I think there's a lot to say to that because I think the Giants have a lot of pullback. And I think there's something about the Giants that makes a good quarterback bad. Just saying. Moving on, the Jaguars defeated the Panthers 26-10. Again, there was a lightning delay in this game, and this was like an hour and a half delay. But in the end, the Jaguars prevailed and defeated the Panthers 26-10. Trevor Lawrence was 19 of 31, 178 yards and 1 touchdown. This was also Travis Hunter's debut as a Jacksonville Jaguar and Liam Cohen's debut as the Jaguars head coach. And what a way to start with a win, although, really. Moving on, we had the number 1 overall pick in the draft this year from Cam Ward play against the Broncos, and the Broncos defeated the Titans 20-12. Bo Nix was 25 of 40, 176 yards, and 1 touchdown. Again, I'm a Cam Ward fan. I still think Tennessee's going to do good this season. And, it's the Broncos. You were playing at Mile High, so you kind of had the deck stacked against you. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. But, you scored 12 points, Tennessee. So let's make this a learning experience and just go up from here. Moving on, we had the 49ers defeat the Seahawks, which I'm going to be thrilled every time the Seahawks lose this season. 17-13. Brock Purdy was 26 of 35, 277 yards, and 2 touchdowns. McCaffrey had 22 carries for 69 yards. So, keep it up, 49ers. This is amazing that y'all can do that, although you're playing a Seahawks team by Sam Darnold. So, I probably could have done that. But, congratulations. Moving on, the Packers defeated the Lions. This was surprising to me, 27-13. Jared Goff was 31 of 39, 225 yards and 1 touchdown. Jordan Love started fast, and this was Micah Parsons' first game as a Packer. He gets a sack in his Green Bay debut, and, it was really no big deal. Everybody made the big deal about Micah Parsons making his Packers debut, but, he only had 1 sack, where before he was going out there and sacking the quarterback every time he turned around. Moving on, the Rams defeated the Texans 14-9. Matthew Stafford was 21 of 29, 245 yards, and 1 touchdown. Now, this was history-making for Matthew Stafford because Matthew Stafford tops 60,000 yards passing as the defense stands strong. There's only like 4 other quarterbacks that have surpassed 60,000 yards, and Matthew Stafford's one of them. I believe it's Drew Brees, Tom Brady, and Peyton Manning are the other ones. So, congratulations to you, Matthew Stafford. I'm glad to see you still have it. Now, hear me out here. This is kind of cool. We had the Lions scores and then the Rams scores, because Jared Goff used to play for the Rams and Matthew Stafford used to play for Detroit, and then they traded for each other. And I believe, even though I was upset when that trade happened, it was the best thing for him, because Jared Goff has thrived with Detroit just like Matthew Stafford has thrived with the Rams. Although the difference is Matthew Stafford got a Super Bowl ring with the Rams, where Jared Goff now needs to get a Super Bowl ring with the Lions. And Jared Goff had a shot to get a Super Bowl with the Rams, but the Patriots beat him. So, but moving on, in my opinion, the game of the week was the Sunday night game between the Bills and the Ravens. And this is the one I really want to talk about, y'all. The Bills defeated the Ravens 41-40. Hear me out. The Bills defeated the Ravens 41-40. The Bills were down by 15 points in the fourth quarter. I'm gonna share something with you guys that is unbelievable. And I'm still in disbelief that this even happened. I feel like Josh Allen pulled a Tom Brady on us, y'all. The Bills are the first team to win a game in the regular season down by 15 plus in the final 4 minutes. They were down by 15 points in the final 4 minutes of the game, with 3 minutes and 46 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. All this is in the fourth quarter. The score was 40-25 Ravens. With 2 minutes and 9 seconds to go, 40-32. With a minute to go, 40-38. And the final score was 41-40 Bills. Now, Josh Allen threw 33 of 46. He completed 33 of 46 passes, 394 yards, and he had 2 total touchdowns. But altogether, rack them up, you had 4 touchdowns, which is amazing. You know, Josh Allen, there's a reason you're the MVP. There's a reason you were last season's MVP. And this is the type of game we look forward to every year. The Ravens-Bills game every year. Because every year, it's Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson in the MVP race. Although Lamar beats Josh every time in that race, until last season when Josh won. This was a great win, a great game. And right now, the game of the week, it was the game of the week, and right now, this is the game of the year. If you haven't seen that, you definitely need to go watch that game, because it was back and forth. Yes, you will get frustrated in the third quarter and part of the fourth, because the Bills killed themselves to win, to make a touchdown or to get a field goal. But in the end, and that's something else. The kicker for the Bills hadn't been on the Bills but like 48 hours prior to that game. And then he kicks the field goal to beat the Ravens. Unbelievable. But moving on to the Monday night game between the Vikings and the Bears. This was J.J. McCarthy's debut as the Vikings quarterback, and the Vikings defeated the Bears 27-24. Y'all, it was something to see J.J. play last night, or Monday night. Excuse me. It was absolutely amazing. This is what yes, he had his jitters he needed to work out, but he got them worked out. And now the Minnesota Vikings are 1-0. And this is with O'Connell, who they call the coach of the Vikings, who they call the quarterback whisperer. He made it work with Darnold last year, unfortunately. And it looks like J.J. McCarthy's going to have a big year. But moving on to the Week 2 predictions. We're starting Thursday night. In Green Bay, it's going to be the Commanders and the Packers. And My prediction are the Commanders are going to come out victorious in that. On Sunday, we have the Jaguars at the Bengals. I'm picking the Bengals. The Giants at the Cowboys, division game. I'm going to count the division games. This is the first one of the weekend. Giants at Cowboys. I'm picking the Cowboys in that game. The Bears at the Lions, second division game. I'm picking the Lions in that game. The Rams at the Titans. I'm actually going to pick the Titans in that game. The Patriots at the Dolphins, division game number 3. I'm picking the Patriots. The 49ers at the Saints. I'm picking the 49ers only on the sole fact that, again, this is a rebuild year for the Saints. New coach, new quarterback. I see promise in the Saints, but I think the 49ers are going to overtake them in the end. Moving on, we have the Bills at the Jets, number 4 division game. I picked the Bills. We have the Seahawks at the Steelers. I'm not even picking that game. I can't pick Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, and I am not picking Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks. You both can tie at 0 as far as I'm concerned. I'm not picking that one. The Browns at the Ravens, number 5 division game. I'm picking the Ravens. The Broncos at the Colts. I'm actually going to go out on a limb here. And I know I'm going to get people asking me why, and I'm going to get laughed at for it. But I'm actually picking the Colts in this game. Let's see what Daniel Jones has. Let's see what he's got when he has to face a real team instead of a beat-up team. So I'm picking the Colts in that game as an upset. The Panthers at the Cardinals. I'm picking the Cardinals in that game. And then on Sunday, y'all, we have the Super Bowl rematch with the Eagles at the Cheating Chiefs. I'm picking the Eagles in that game. And Fox is doing a 2-hour pregame show at Kansas City, which I think is ridiculous. You're treating it like you're going to a military base. The Chiefs aren't worth this. They're not worth a 2-hour pregame on Sunday. Yes, it's a Super Bowl rematch. Yes, you're going to make your predictions. But what are you going to say for 2 hours, guys? Are you going to just praise Mahomes the whole time? Or, Kermit the Frog the whole time? And talk about what a great team the Cheating Chiefs are? Or, what are you going to talk about for 2 hours? I think it's ridiculous you're doing this. But in the end, I'm picking the Eagles because I can't pick the Chiefs. The Falcons at the Vikings is the Sunday night game. I'm going to pick the Vikings in that game. That's a hard one for me because I like Michael Penix Jr. for the Falcons, but I like J.J. McCarthy with the Vikings. They're playing at home, so I think that gives the Vikings more of an edge. So I'm picking the Vikings in that game. And then Monday night is going to be a doubleheader. We have the Bucket at 7 o'clock on ABC. We have the Buccaneers at the Texans. Ooh, God, that's going to be a good one, y'all. That is going to be a really good one. C.J. Stroud against Baker Mayfield. Ooh. God, why do I have to pick this one? I like both of them. But if you're looking at stat-wise, the Buccaneers have the edge, but they're playing in Houston. So those fans, and it's an indoor stadium, so the fans might be too much for the Buccaneers. But you know what? In the end, I'm picking the Buccaneers for this one. I think Baker's going to come out strong. And then at 10 o'clock on ESPN, we have the Chargers at the Raiders, which I believe is number 6 in the division games. We had 8 last week. We've got 6 of them this week. I'm picking the Chargers in this game. As always, Who are y'all's predictions? Drop them in the comments. Let me know who y'all got this for week 2. Let's make this happen, y'all. Anyway, moving on to the who we're listening to, and we're listening to Michael Bublé. He's a singer-songwriter out of Bunbury, British Columbia, Canada. He started singing in 94. I didn't find out about him until 2004 with his self-titled third album that had songs like Moondance. His debut album was Babe Blue in 2001, but he didn't get the recognition until 2003 with his third album, his breakout album. He's had 11 studio albums, 18 singles, 14 music videos, 1 compilation album, 3 live albums. His new album was Higher back in 2022. My favorite album from him is called Crazy Love. I believe it was his 4th or 5th album. So, in the what song we're listening to, or now I've turned out what album we're listening to, listen to Crazy Love. Although, listen to all of his albums. He's a great singer-songwriter, and I like to see his progression. But that's about all I've got for you guys this week. As always, drop in the comments who you guys are listening to, what song, what artist, and all that. And you never know, it might show up on who we're listening to. But I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the week. Enjoy week 2 of the NFL. And like, comment, and share, y'all. And subscribe. Have a great week, y'all. God bless.